I fear being a burden on my family.
Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you are sleeping. Obese patients of the My 600 Pound Life show consume thousands of calories a day, and therefore, they reach a point where they become immobility by maintaining such high weights. Well, in today's video, we all are going to look at My 600 Pound Life patients who totally rely on others, who keep feeding them food even though they weren't supposed to. Ashley Bernard. Ashley Bernard, known as Ashley B., lives in Carencro, Louisiana. She did her graduation from the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. She is a mother of 2 kids who had a rough and traumatized past. We always look at the end that they have unhealthy eating habits, and therefore they are overweight, but we don't examine which things drive these habits and cause them. In Ashley's case, she had been sexually assaulted in her childhood. That's why, as an unconscious defense mechanism, she started putting on weight. After giving birth to her second child, she had to get back to her mother because her overweight body had become a barrier for her. She could not function properly. The worst part of her life is her 11-year-old daughter looks after her and her newborn baby. Her daughter gets ready for school herself, and she roams around in the kitchen to make her next giant meal. It is funny and questionable that she isn't capable of taking care of her kids, but at the same time, she can make a big plate of eggs. She can also have expensive manicures and eyelash extensions. Priorities. Aha. She says she isn't capable of doing things for her kids, and even for herself. That's why she relies on her daughter a lot. She added, "I can't go where I want. I can't do what I want. But if I eat this, I'll be where I want. Because anywhere with good food is a good place. So, it makes my life better." James King. James King was born on 2nd June 1970. In Pajika, K.Y. King shared that his father has raised him and his brothers because his mother was always drunk. After some time, he met his mother again. He said, "After meeting my mother again, I felt that something that had been missing from my life wasn't missing as much anymore." But after some months, his mother died eventually, and at her funeral, they got a call that their home had burned down. He said that, "I felt that day that I have lost everything in a single day." His depression took over him. When he appeared on the show in 2017, Season 5, Episode 11, he had been bedbound for the last 3 years. He depends on his daughter Bailey and his girlfriend Lisa, and they help him out with everything he needs. When he came to the show, his weight was nearly 800 pounds. Dr. Now suggested to him that he has to lose at least 600 pounds to go for surgery. But in 2018, he made a return visit to the show with his gained weight of 840 pounds. James is not able to walk or to do mobility because of his weight. Therefore, he made his daughter leave school to look after him and help him with his basic needs. He is totally dependent on her. He yells at his daughter all the time, especially when she tries to wash him or move him with the help of helpers. Because of the pain of cellulitis, which has spread all over his legs. But why does he yell at her? It isn't her fault that he has gained so much weight because of overeating. She says that she is helpless to see her father like that, but she has accepted her fate that her father snatched her right to study just for getting snacks hand-delivered in bed. Bailey shared her views with My 600 Pound Life team that, "I have to help with my dad. I don't feel like I should have to be a caretaker to my dad because a father is supposed to protect and take care of his daughter." Bethany Stout. Bethany, a 40-year-old mom dealing with obesity, appeared on the show and was honest that she relies on food and can't stop eating because food gives her comfort and helps her to self-medicate from her depression and anxiety. In fact, she claimed that she would even trade food if she could. For the family, Bethany's daughter, whose age is just 18, does most of the mothering. But the actual ruler of the home is Bethany, as from her firm chair. She still rules the household, and her husband Sheldon, as throughout the episode. He seems pretty quiet and doesn't seem to do much about this dynamic. Not just that, he's the only one on whom Bethany was totally relying on, as he takes the view that if Mama wants it, Mama gets it. He does everything for Bethany, from enabling her to taking care of her and the whole household. In fact, on his office break, Sheldon comes home every day to bring Bethany's her next meal so around the clock, she can keep eating, and he's never had thought of confronting her related to her dreadful, unhealthy lifestyle. He stands with the thought that he will never tell her how to take care of herself, but since he's actively contributing as well therefore, he really can't claim that he's just leaving her to her own devices. Betty Jo. When it comes to talking about Betty Jo's story, then you know that her husband Josh is surely the one who is taking care of her and has been enabling her unhealthy food habits since they are together. But you might feel surprised to know that the most worrying thing about her husband is that he's dangerously attached to his role as his wife's full-time caregiver. In fact, he knows and even admits that the food he is giving her is actually a slow suicide and is about to kill her because she is eating food to death. Even he's accepting himself that he is even helping her to kill herself. According to Josh, he is afraid that if Betty loses the weight then she might not need him anymore, and that he can see it happening already. Josh is quite straightforward and unambiguous, his words describing that his own goals don't align or line up with Betty Jo's weight loss goals. At Betty Jo's appointment with Dr. Now, he says some pretty chilling stuff that it is unbelievable for the viewers to hear him say such things about his own wife. Even he shares on the cameras that his biggest fear is not her dying on the operating room table, or even being turned down for surgery, but the biggest worry of his that if she loses the weight she'll no longer need him or something. So therefore, he keeps enabling her. It's really pretty messed up relationship. Ashley Pratcher. Ashley has been seen struggling to retain what independence could feel like as she can claim onto, because according to her, she was quickly losing all straps of her ability to do her things due to her immobility. Well, in her case, as more pounds pile on her, more and more household work has fallen on the shoulders of her son Patrick. By the way, unfortunately, most patients on the show came who had children whose lives become overtaken by taking care of their parents. Ashley's 5-year-old son Patrick was one of them, as he had to grow up far faster than he required, as he was confined to take care of his one parent who honestly should be taking care of him because as a mother that's her duty. Ashley's only worry wasn't her guilt, because she already gave it a thought that her son is growing up around her eating habits and she's afraid of that. What if he's going to end up like her too in future, eating junk food, depending on others for his own needs? But if you ask me, and well, if that's the case then, Ashley definitely needs to make some changes around her, especially for Patrick, or I think her kid would be better off without her. Here's a clip that will make you wonder how this kid is doing all that in this small age. Pauline Potter. Pauline Potter weighed in at 643 pounds, and she was named the world's heaviest woman alive in the 2011 Guinness Book of World Records. She knew she needed Dr. Now's help to lose weight because she was depending heavily on her adult son. She met with Dr. Now. It was apparent she was going to fight him at every turn. Even when he put Pauline on a strict 1,200-calorie diet, she protested. So, to closely monitor her food consumption, Dr. Now ordered hospitalization for Pauline. After that, for a short time, things did turn good for her as she lost 44 pounds and she got approved for her gastric bypass surgery. But it was totally clear that she could not get rid of her food addiction. That's why she gave up on Dr. Now's program and started overeating again. On the follow-up Where Are They Now episode, she even revealed that she had a painkiller addiction and couldn't shed her weight. That fat girl in me is still there, she said. The doctor fixed our stomachs, but he didn't fix our minds. I have to keep fighting. Olivia Cruz. Olivia Cruz, who lived with her mother in her mother's basement, weighed 578 when she first appeared on the show. She wasn't able to walk or even bathe and was totally dependent on her family for everything. But she went through 2 weight loss surgeries, but her struggles to lose weight failed. Then she met Dr. Now in Houston for her gastric bypass surgery. After the gastric procedure of Dr. Now and his strict diet plan, she lost almost 400 pounds. Thank you for watching the video.